Good morning. It is a gorgeous morning. Right now it's 68 degrees. It's about 11 a.m. And I am in one of those places that I hold near and dear to my heart. We all probably have one of those places or a couple of those. Maybe it's the place you grew up in, or a vacation spot, or the place you got engaged or married, whatever the case is. My place is Dunellen, Florida. Now you might be asking yourself, where the heck is Dunellen, Florida? Well, this is somewhere in central Florida, somewhere around the Orlando, Gainesville area. And why this place is special is this is the place where Adam's paramotor life was born. Dunellen, Florida gave birth to Adam's paramotor life. Pretty awesome. Back in January 2020, I came down here and did my training with Aviator PPG. Class of 6, we were the first class in Dunellen. Aviator had branched up to, they're typically in Lake Wales, they branched up to Dunellen, and they were still putting paint on the building. I mean, it was a brand new program up there. They had brought in some of the best instructors, best people I've met. So I'm super excited to hang out with the One Up Adventures crew. It's just 2 of us training for this Trike transition course. That was one of the reasons I chose One Up, is I like the idea of a smaller class and just an opportunity to try some different equipment. Although I have already ordered my Trike and wing, so I went all out with this Trike. I got the dual start, I got the dual spark, it's got all the gauges on it, it comes with a reserve. And I got the Cosmos 300 motor because I want that added thrust. I want the assurance that when I take a passenger up, that I'm going to have all the power I need for an easy takeoff and anything I need to do in the air. The cool thing about coming down to One Up is they've got a few different Trikes. I'll get to try a couple different ones and just absorb it all. Just absorb another cool training opportunity. Hopefully do some regular paramotor flying and just have a great time on this trip. That's what it's all about. So let's go learn to fly Trike and have a blast in Florida. Well, we made it. This is my first time in Lake Wales. There's the Aviator building. Hey guys, I am sitting in the Lake Wales Aviator building. My first time here. It's kind of cool actually. So they've got a class of 6 going on, and actually overlapping class, another one. So looks like we might have an opportunity to go for a little flight tonight. We'll have to see how that works out. But yeah, seeing some of my old instructors. Fletch is here. Micah will be back tomorrow. Judson's here but not working. So yeah, this is where it all started, I guess. We are inside my trailer. I call this my toy hauler because I bought it to haul my motorcycle, the paramotor, all my gear. I've had to make a few adjustments to make it all fit, but I looked at getting a toy hauler, and just for the money and the quality, it just, I don't know. I came across this one and I was pretty happy with it. The guy had put a floor in, cabinets. He super insulated the roof. It's got 4 inches of foam on top of it as well, and he put a mini split in it. So he did most of the work. I've just kind of made a few changes to customize it to the way I needed it to be. Hey guys, sorry for all the noise here. We got a jet taking off in the distance here, so we're getting ready to set up and hopefully do some awesome flying. So it's me and this guy over here, and then there's a lady taking off back here. So we'll probably get a few people up in the air. It's not ideal conditions, it's a little bit breezy, but it'll be fun. Hey, Wow, what an evening for flying. This was one of those evenings where I thought, hey, if I could just get up in the air, and even if it's 10-15 minutes, that's fine, I'll deal with the bumps. Conditions just got better and better, and we had so much fun. It was so cool being up there with so many other pilots. This is the latest I have ever flown. It was 25 minutes past sunset, and you can see how dark it is. The strobes are going, and I think I'm the last pilot to come down here. I tell you what, Florida is a great place to learn how to fly, but Florida conditions can really make great pilots. I spent this entire time, about an hour and 40 minutes of flight time, doing touch and goes, landing, takeoffs, working on all of the techniques, the ground handling. This was one of those nights where my skills improved. And I encourage anybody who is a pilot, doesn't matter how long you've been flying, but if you have an opportunity to have these perfect laminar winds, probably starting out 6 to 8 miles an hour, that is just the most perfect situation to really build some of those ground skills. Had a great time. Time for bed though, and tomorrow morning is trike training.
Nice. All right, go ahead and fill the motor. There you go. and stuff that right hand. Beautiful. Good job.
Get this baby set up. It is a beautiful morning out here. Holy crap. I don't feel any wind out here. Yeah, there's Kyle. Look at him flipping around there. I didn't know too much about Kyle. I know he's a good pilot, but watching him fly, he's definitely better than good. Like, he's just got a really good understanding of wing control, and there they are. Looks like they're getting set up, ready to go. That is awesome. Oh, it's kind of cold down here. There's Colton. He's got the old Mojo Power, I think. That's the wing that we flew for Trike. What's up, brother? Right. He's getting some photos too. All right, let's talk a little bit about foot launch versus trike. Now, I've done 2 days of this trike training. Colton and I are pretty much done, certified tandem instructors. We've gone through everything that needs to be done. We've had perfect weather, so we've been able to get a lot of hours in the morning and the evenings, and did my first tandem yesterday. Went out with Allie a couple times, went out with Kyle a couple times, did some touch and goes, got signed off. Awesome. Very cool experience. I will once again comment on the Zenith trike is amazing. That trike has just enough power to just handle pretty much whatever you need to handle. It's very comfortable. It's got all the gauges. It's got the electric start. Very excited to have that set up. Now, most of us, I guess I shouldn't say most of us, but myself, I kind of thought that training a trike would be pretty simple since I've been foot launching for so long. I'm like, okay, I'll pick up on this pretty quick. Now, I'm not saying I didn't pick up on it quick. It did go faster, and they did say that Colton and I have progressed much quicker than most students. You know, he's got, I don't know how many hours, probably 400 to 500. He's been flying for like 12 years. And I've got about 150, 160 hours. But not just the hours of flight, but I also practice a lot of takeoffs and landings, and that's where you start building those ground skills. So the difference between flying a trike and flying a foot launch is you lose all of the feeling of the harness. So, and we use trikes that had A assist, so you don't even have to hold the A's and kind of feel when the wing is up. The only way you know when the wing is up is the trike will start to increase in speed a little bit because the kite is holding it back as it's coming up. It's kind of like full throttle, but it doesn't move, and then all of a sudden it'll start building a little bit of speed. So that means the wing is out of that parachutal stage. And the next thing is the wing pops up, but you don't know if it's to the right or to the left. When you are foot launching, As you release the A's, you can feel in the harness, is the wing pulling you to the right? Is it pulling you to the left? Is it coming in front of you? Is it still kind of behind you? You have all that feeling. So you just have to glance up at the wing as you're running, and it's just much easier because of that, because you can see what's going on. So it's just a lot easier because you can feel all of that in the process. Now, it's not easier in the fact that you got a motor on your back and you're having to run to get yourself off the ground. This morning we had little to no wind, so I ran a little bit further than obviously if we had a nice headwind, but still, you get off the ground and then it's easy. The trike, you have to literally be watching the wing 90% of the time. So it's the opposite of foot launch, where foot launch you're watching what's in front of you and your path, and you're getting ready to take off, making sure you don't step in a pothole or a gopher hole, and then all of a sudden you're up in the air. For trike, you're looking at the wing to make sure it's stable and it's not one way or the other, because if you take off and the wing is diving just a little bit to the right, you're going to oscillate right away, and you have to correct that very quickly. So you have to taxi a little bit longer, kind of watch the wing, make sure everything's looking good, and then your path in front is clear, and then you launch the same way. A little bit of brake pressure and you're ready to go.
Okay, I wanted to share an error that I made with you because I definitely learned something from it, and hopefully others do as well. Now in this situation, we're flying at the airport and there are some skydivers up ahead, and they had complained a couple times that we were getting in their way. So I was told to get out of their way as quickly as possible. So it added a little bit of pressure to get this trike up in the air very quickly, and the mistake I made is I didn't fully check my wing. So I checked the right side. Once I got it stabilized and I looked at the right side, it looked good enough to take off. I did not check the left side, and you can see a giant cravat. Now fortunately, as soon as I pulled brake pressure, that cravat released, pops out, and I'm good to go. You can see some slight oscillation, but I was able to correct it and move on. Honestly, I never realized there was a cravat until I saw this video after the fact. So this is why we check our wing, both sides, make sure everything's stable while we taxi, before we give full throttle and take off.
So trike requires a lot more visual versus the feeling, and foot launch requires a lot more of the feeling versus the visual when we're talking about the wing and the harness. So that was the biggest thing, and they said for people who are just learning trike, who have never foot launched, that's one of the things they struggle with, is the dancing of the wing. And on the first morning, the first couple times I went off, yeah, the wing's going this way, then it's going this way, and normally I can anticipate it because I can feel it starting to go the other way versus watching it and then looking in front, watching it and then looking in front. But once you get that part down and learn to apply the appropriate brake pressure to keep that wing nice and solid and stable, man, it is pretty damn sweet. Launching it, obviously there's no effort, you're on wheels. Landing it is such a cool experience. It's like, obviously it's like landing an airplane. You got your wheels in the back here and you're just cruising along, and all of a sudden, whoop, and you flare just enough and you have just enough throttle where you can really come in and do a nice smooth landing. So I am super excited to have that as an option for flight as well, and the fact that I can take people up with me. I'm not going to be doing anything crazy during tandems. It's basically a nice flight, maybe a nice hard carve at some point to give them the feeling, but the wing that I'm getting is designed for easy inflation. It's actually a pretty fast wing. It does have tip steering, and I was flying the 42 yesterday, and grabbing the tip and the brake, you could actually get some pretty nice carving going. So it's going to be a fun wing too, but very safe and stable. Just, the thing is like riding on a big air mattress. It's just cushioned and you're just soft riding the whole time. It's so nice. Now another thing I want this trike for is I would really like to do a little bit of cross country and some camping. And having that whole front seat to load up some gear to where I could do more of an extended camp. Obviously I need to find the right place to land because you need a little bit more room to take off. But, foot launch you can probably take off in half the distance. but it requires a lot more work, you know? You have to find a good level spot. There can't be any dips or little branches or things like that because you're having to run through it. The cool thing about a trike is that even if it's a little bit bumpy, this has some nice big tires, and I'm not having to take on the fatigue, the body fatigue, to get myself in the air with all the camping gear. So I'm really excited to do some more distance flying. Yeah, just go explore. Now, one thing I do have to say about foot launch versus trike is, you know, I'm on my Sirocco, and just the agility of being in a harness versus a trike. I mean, it is so much fun. I'm sure you can do some things on a trike, but being in the seating position we are and not having any obstructions to your view, and then the hard carves, it makes a big difference as far as the fun factor, I guess. So a single person trike would be fun, I think. Even one of those smaller ones that, you know, you just have the wheels but it hooks to your actual machine, kind of like the PAP. That would be kind of fun too, because you would get the benefit of the landings and the takeoffs, the ease of that, but you probably have more characteristics of a foot launch in flight. So, all right, here we go. It's nice and chilly down here.